watching this rift form in the nation's ideology, splitting into two different sides, those who know about what this country was founded on and what made it great and the freest place on the planet in world history, and those who don't, or those who know a little bit about it and think that they've got answers when, in my opinion, these documents, our founding principles, they hold all of our answers. And if we don't know, where we're from, how can we know where we're going? So that's the whole point of why I'm doing this. I'm trying to inspire people to understand exactly what you just said. This is a republic, for example. Government's purpose is to protect individual rights, not to protect individuals, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, Matt, maybe a good piece of music to listen to at this moment would be called "I'll See You Again."
I don't blame the uniform or the reasons you were there, 'cause I know the kind of soul you are. You went because you care. And I'll see you again, though I can't explain how, and I couldn't say when. I can feel you here with me, and it's stronger than all of the warm memories.
Yeah, this song I've got a kind of an interesting story about. I had gotten a lot of great reception on the first album, Patriotic, but as I sent it out to radio stations, I kept hearing that although they loved the writing and the lyrics and the musicianship, consistently I was hearing that it was not up to standards production-wise. So when I finished about 35 songs and boiled them down to the 11 or 12 I was going to use on the new album, I had just gone to a studio and gotten a quote, and as you know, because of the media and things that you do, it's expensive. And as soon as I got home, I checked my emails, and I got a message from a gentleman who had served training Navy corpsman and had just retired, 35 years. And he was distraught, talking about one particular, kind of a favorite student of his who he just found out was recently killed in Iraq. And I released one of my tracks called "For the Heroes" from the first CD for free, and he had found it and wrote me about it. And it touched me so deeply that I made my instant decision. Okay, I'm not gonna hold back on the production of this CD. I'm just gonna do what I have to do. And in the next 45 minutes, I wrote this track, "I'll See You Again."
This is Talkin to America. I'm your host, Aaron Zellman. Our guest today is an accomplished musician. His name is Matt Fitzgibbons. Matt, is this the first time that you've written music based on a particular theme?
No, actually in '89, between high school and college, Gene Caverly and I, Gene's playing lead on the fourth track, "No One to Blame," he and I wrote a song called "The Year of the Snake," and that was about the Tiananmen Square massacre, and it was released probably about 2 months later. That track was played on Voice of America and a whole bunch of international stations around the world. The problem is the very beginning of the song started off identically to Tom Petty's "Free Falling," and he released his about, I think it was 2 months after I released mine, so I just pulled the plug and stopped marketing it when he released it. But I had a chance to meet some of the Chinese dissident students as well that were here speaking in the U.S. But, for about 16 years after that, I pretty much just censored myself and stopped writing about anything having to do with current events. I figured there was too much of that, and I didn't have a snowball's chance. And heck, talking about the Constitution. And finally, as I saw this rift forming, I just said, well, I need to do this. I absolutely have to do it. And so I did, and I think I've written my best material because I was true to myself finally.
That's usually the way it works. If I remember, we spoke about 2 years ago when you first contacted JPFO. Has JPFO had any, I guess we'll call it influence on what you've been doing?
Yeah, tremendously. I mean, I live on the internet. That's what I do. I'm a web designer, and I use the internet for news and history and to find like-minded people and to try to find out how I could contribute. And I came across JPFO. Now, as I mentioned, my ancestors are from Ireland, so it always seemed logical to me that any people that were targeted for genocide would passionately want to defend the Second Amendment. Either in the past or anyone today. You make great points about it being a real civil rights issue. And what really impressed me was that JPFO takes a unique approach to all of this because it's non-political, but you use popular media, film, comic books, creative approaches and things to inspire people to become aware of these things. And as far as I know, there are no other organizations doing this. So I was not only very much inspired to contact you because of what you were doing, but because as far as I know, you're the only organization that does these things like films and such. And so I really wanted to talk to you and see if you could give me any advice about what I was trying to do with the music side of it. And it turns out to be, I'm so glad I met you.
Perhaps some of the best advice we've given you, at least in my opinion, is that we got you focused on referring to yourself as a Bill of Rightist.
That's true. I think that's absolutely true. As you said, it makes people ask the question, well, what is that? And it doesn't peg you into any political party because I really want to stay out of politics as much as possible. And again, if you support any of the Bill of Rights, hopefully all of them, there's absolutely nothing political about it, in my opinion. It's standing against them is just so radical. But standing for the Bill of Rights and what made this country great should just be the norm. That's not political at all. So I don't see JPFO in any way, shape, or form as political.
No, we're not. We simply promote and believe in a Bill of Rights culture. Moving on to another one of your songs, it's called Freedom, and you were kind of let us use it in our recent movie, The Gang. Can you tell us something about the song called Freedom?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. By the way, if you haven't seen The Gang, it really is fantastic, and it's not just because my song is in it. I learned so much in, just a short sitting watching the movie. It really, really impressed me, blew my mind. This song was kind of unusual for me in the way that I write because it was one of these pieces where I had heard the whole thing in my head first and then recreated it. Normally, that's not the way that I write, but this one turned out that way. This is also the first song on the album of 12 tracks.
Matt, I think we'll listen to a few bars of Freedom. You may want to even comment on it a bit more.
What I must give to keep.
One of my favorite songs. The lyrics, I think, speak for themselves. What I was very happy about was the way that it fits in the credits at the end of your movie, The Gang.